do eat a lot of vegetation, but they'll also eat about 200 pounds of hay each day and drink 60 gallons of water. That trunk is an amazing tool. It's got over 40,000 muscles in it, more muscles than in the entire human body. With a finger-like feature at the end of the trunk that can pick up an egg without breaking it. Yes, they can take that trunk of theirs and they can rip that tree right out of the ground. They get special treatment here at the zoo. Twice a week they get special baths and pedicures. They sweat through the bottoms of their feet as well as send and receive subsonic vibrations. Tells them whether a herd of animals is nearby or miles away. Now we're going to be looking for one of my personal favorites. Look right out there to the right of the rocks. You may see in the distance there Callie, our Indian rhinoceros. She weighs in at 3,500 pounds and can run at 30 miles per hour. There are less than 2,000 Indian rhinos left in India and Nepal. We're lucky enough to be caring for 5 of them here at the zoo. We're one of the luckiest zoos in the whole USA. We've had 11 successful births of rhinos here. But it's not an easy story. You see, the female rhino is pregnant for 16 months. And at the end of that time gives birth to a bouncing 150-pound baby. That baby will stay with its mother for 2 to 3 years. At least you don't have to pay for college. And weaning takes anywhere from 12 to 16 months. Contrary to popular belief, the skin of a rhino is not all that tough. It's actually sensitive to sunburn and insect bites. They bathe their skin in mud to protect themselves up to 18 hours a day in something they created themselves that we call the wallows. The original wallows is coming up on my right after a down tree. With all the rhinos that went into making it at its upkeep, I think they've got it the way they want it by now. So she's behind the trees there, back in the wallows. And we see her and the wallows with only one thing left to figure out, and that's the rhino's horn.
The horn of a rhinoceros is very different from that of a goat or antelope. It is not attached to the skull. Rhino horn is made from compressed keratin fibers, the same material that is found in fingernails and hair. Although rhinos are a protected species, poaching still occurs. Rhinos are killed for their body parts, but some people believe that this horn has special medicinal powers. It is also used as an ingredient in some traditional Asian medicines, and the rhino horn is also prized in some cultures for making dagger handles.
Asia is known for having the most deer species and deer diversity of anywhere on Earth. And what do we find in our next exhibit laying down around the round fence? Well, we start off with some small deer that are actually fully grown, known as the hog deer. Short and squat like a hog is how they got their name. They run under things rather than over things, like most deer would do. On the right side, by the round fence, we can see a large chocolate-colored deer. That's the sandbar deer, largest deer in southern Asia. 5 feet at the shoulder, 650 pounds for the males. Males are solitary animals. Females hang out in groups. Males' antlers can be 3 feet long with 3 points on each. And a herd of hog deer follows them.
Diana, cachorros como vos. ¿Esto qué pasó? ¿Estás con tu hindú o estás con tu china?
Take a look at the trees in the exhibit here. Notice how they're wrapped in wire? That's because of the antlers and horns in the exhibit that would scrape themselves against the bark of a tree to clean them. Enough bark gets scraped away, the tree dies. The loss of a leafy food source and much needed shade. With the wire on the tree, they can clean more efficiently and it saves the bark on the tree. Now that's a winning situation for everyone. Now Now we are coming up on a double fence. Once we do, we're going to be on the lookout for a rare sight known as China's tufted deer. At less than 40 pounds, being extremely shy, they love to hide. In fact, we usually don't get to see them. They're normally seen in zoos in mainland China, but the Bronx Zoo is one of several exceptions we're proud of.
¿Dónde está?
Look in the middle of the field here, though, as the first car comes up, and you'll see one of the brownish deer. I mean, one of the China's tufted deer.
Mira aquí.
They have a white tail and rump they use for deer
Sí,
communication, but when they're really upset, they'll bark like a dog and growl too. They're the only monorail animal that stays outdoors year-round. They love the winter and kind of like the summer. On this next turn, we're coming to the tallest point in our exhibits, passing back over the Bronx River at 35 feet above the water. The Wildlife Conservation Society knows how important it is to upkeep the greenway here at the Bronx River, not only for plants and animals, but for Bronx residents alike. And if you'd like to learn more about the Bronx River, you can always go to the Mitsubishi Riverwalk, located along the edge of Parking Area B. Rocky terrain coming up next. Well, that means wild goats. We're looking for two species. One is the Himalayan tahr, well adapted to life on the mountain slopes and woodlands of the Himalayan mountains. And the markhor. We're starting here with the markhor. Babies and teenagers that are hanging out around these rocks. There's an adult male by the down tree.
Acá están.
Look at those horns, up to 60
Junto a los troncos.
inches long. Markhor means snake eater, and the legend has it that the markhor ate a snake. When they came out of the top of his head, that's what made his horns so curly. Those scruffy-looking goats that we're passing on the hill are the Himalayan tahr, losing their winter coats and horns curved back for headbutting battles with mates. Now look down into the leafy tree to see Mei Mei, our red panda. Mei Mei means little sister in Chinese. People are fascinated by the color of their fur, and in Nepal, the red panda is called Hanho, which roughly translated means firefox. We thought the red panda was related to the black and white giant panda of China, but it turns out they're only related by dying. After all, the word panda means bamboo eater. The red panda was known for many years before we knew the black and white giant panda existed, more closely related to skunks, raccoons, and weasels. I guess you couldn't pick your family. I don't know how many of you got the cartoon Kung Fu Panda, but if you did, the Sensei Machinima was a red panda. So we make this turn, and we're going to make a stop, and at that stop, please stay in your seats. We want to be sure that the next train ahead has completely left the platform of departure, so we can pull ahead ourselves in safety to depart. The Wildlife Conservation Society manages 5 parks here in New York City, and that's the Bronx Zoo, New York Aquarium, Central Park Zoo, Queens Zoo, and Prospect Park Zoo. We also manage scientists in over 300 locations in over 50 countries around the world. If you'd like to become a member and help save wildlife and wild lands, all you need to do is go to Zoo Center or any membership card to join. Once you do that, there's 1 year's free admission to all 5 of our parks. However, if you do become a premium member, then there's also things like rides passes, parking passes, a t-shirt, and much more. We're about to make that stop. Stay in your seats, please. Train ahead is leaving the platform. Looks like we'll be pulling ahead in less than 30 seconds.